Good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Thursday, December 8th, 2022. And our top story today, show me the income, what employers are saying about retirement income solutions. Today's show is powered by Invesco. To learn more about Invesco and its latest defined contribution research, visit the website displayed below. Joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Greg Jenkins is with Invesco, and Bill Ryan is a partner with NEPC. Well, Greg, Bill, it's great to see you both again. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thanks, Jeff.
Great, Jeff.
Great to see you both. And Greg, you know, the last time we talked about Show Me the Income and the survey results, we kind of talked at a very general level. I mean, there was so much to unpack, and we'll be unpacking more in future shows. But in this particular episode, I think we want to focus on what plan sponsors, or what we call plan sponsors, who are also employers, are thinking about retirement income. From the survey results, what are they saying? What did they tell you?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. And you're right, there is a lot in this study. We surveyed 1,000 participants, and we also surveyed 100 large plan sponsors. And our research partner, Greenwald Research, conducted 18 in-depth interviews where we learned quite a bit about how plan sponsors are thinking. And when we asked why a retirement income program would benefit their organizations, it was interesting. The top reason cited was that it was simply good to offer more options for employees. And there were some other factors that came in a little bit lower, all basically tied. Things like wanting to offer a retirement income program at a better cost or lower cost than a participant could get on their own. And also sort of these workforce management issues like helping employees retire on time. So interestingly, we 77% of these employers said that they were seeking to retain retirees in the plan. And you would think that some of these economic benefits would have come through really high. But interestingly, retaining, keeping plan assets, up, and and some of these other economic factors rank quite a bit lower than some of the issues that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And then on to the second part of your question, on how many employers are really doing this right now. The answer is really very few plans have adopted a retirement income program as of yet. However, most plans have eliminated fees for partial distributions or for periodic distributions, and we could certainly argue that is a retirement income program. So many employers already have something; they're just looking to enhance it.
Thanks for that, Greg. And Bill, I want to bring you into the conversation. First of all, it's great to have you and again on the program. And you represent NEPC, a prominent consulting firm that advises clients. I guess the first question, from a retirement income perspective, are more and more of the clients that you service, are they talking about this in their quarterly review meetings, that they have to do more due diligence on retirement income and add an option to their plan?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, and thank you for having me. There's a lot of conversations, like Greg is mentioning. There's a proliferation of products, from asset managers to record keepers to managed account providers, and it makes the conversation a little bit more complicated. I atone it to religion, and what I mean by that is we're talking about denominations of religion. There's very strong advocacy for specific retirement programs or retirement income solutions, but we don't know if our plan sponsors or the clients actually believe in religion. And I think one way that actually this could be addressed is we're trying to make the conversation simpler for our clients. And this is where Greg was going to with systematic distributions. We are telling our clients that 9 out of 10 of them have a retirement income solution. And what I mean by that is 90% of our clients have a target date fund and systematic distribution, which means that they have a starting point to provide retirement income for their participants.
And is there, Bill, is there one particular product type? There's insurance products, there's non-insurance products, there are different constructs. Is there one type of product that stands out, or is it, hey, we want to look at all of them. We want to consider multiple options.
Yeah, I think it's important to get comfortable what the objective is. And I think if majority of participants are going to have Social Security, they may have other forms of guaranteed benefits or lifetime income, but they're all going to need some kind of self-insured investment product. So I think target date funds as a starting point, anything that has an asset allocation post 65 is the entry point for a retirement income solution. It does not need to have a guaranteed income solution. It's kind of like when we're in grammar school when you learn, a square and a rectangle. Square is a unique part of a rectangle. Lifetime income is a subset of retirement income, but all retirement income isn't insured.
Greg, you talked a little bit about retaining assets and the employer's desire to retain assets, and I would lump that in under portability. What about helping employees? What about helping them find streams or create streams of income? Is this more of a focus, at least from your survey results?
Yeah, great question, Jeff. So this is an area where I think we got more out of the qualitative side of the study than the survey alone. In the in-depth interviews, plan sponsors said they viewed retirement income as part of financial wellness, which is clearly a focus for employee benefits today. And many employers have spent decades helping participants, with saving and with the accumulation side on their DC plans, but not much has been done to help people derive retirement income from their DC plan savings. At the same time, larger employers in particular have shifted over time from a defined benefit centric retirement focus to a DC system. And so some of our interviewees cited that as well.
Bill, in our industry, we talk a lot about financial wellness, financial literacy, and kind of piggybacking on what Greg just talked about, the survey results. From your perspective, from your clients that you're talking to, how much of the participant is in the mind of the employer? Are they focused on these issues vis-a-vis putting in solutions that help with help address those concerns that participants might have? One of which is, do I have enough money at retirement?
It's a great question, Jeff. I think it's very unique to the employer and the culture of the employer. The total rewards and the benefit structure that an employer provides has a lot to do with the culture and the type of employees they recruit. And so I don't think it's unique to industries. I don't think it's unique to corporate plans versus non-for-profit. I think it's very much unique to the people that work at the employer. I've seen two corporate plans, Plan A and Plan B, where the person who's managing benefits at Plan A is much more involved in financial wellness and literacy. They had something personal in their life, maybe a parent or a father, that made them really drive into the topic. So I think it's very much unique to the employer or the people at the employer that provide those benefits.
And do you think some of that is related to the pandemic, what we've experienced the last 2 years? Now we've got a lot of market volatility. There's fear of recession. Does that and look, there are benefits to helping your employees, right? I mean, we're all you want productivity to continue to be to go up and not go down. If you're always have your arms wrapped around your finances, you're not as productive as a worker.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the pandemic didn't hit every industry equally. It hit heavier on retail and hospitality and travel. And when we had the CARES Act at the start of 2020, financial literacy was the top of mind, especially for those employers that needed to help employees with short-term cash flow needs. Corporate America was not impacted nearly as hard as some of the other parts. And so as we're coming out of the pandemic, employment is up. There is the looming recession out there, but I think the financial literacy is going to be really, again, dependent on what the culture is of the employer or the plan sponsor.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I need to take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about proper due diligence for these types of retirement income solutions. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you stuck with a low credit score? A credit report and score that's causing you to be denied credit or pay higher interest rates than others for the same things? Then do what Terrence did and call Credit Repaired for your free credit evaluation to help restore your credit.
I started thinking about buying a new house, and my score wasn't where I needed it to be. I called and spoke with one of the representatives, and we just had a good conversation, and I liked what he was saying.
Just one call for his free credit evaluation was all it took to start back on the track to repairing his credit.
I'm seeing the deletions and I'm getting the report, so I know something's being done. It does make a difference to me.
All it takes is one call to get started.
Credit Repair has given me a second chance to have a better credit score.
Don't let a low credit score hold you back another day. Do what Terrence did and make the call for your free credit evaluation.
Call 800-819-4152. That's 800-819-4152. Again, 800-819-4152.
Welcome back. A reminder that today's show is powered by Invesco. To learn more about Invesco and its defined contribution retirement research, visit the website displayed below. Well, Greg, Bill, thanks so much for sticking with us this morning. Really appreciate having you back for segment number 2.
Thanks, Jeff.
This is fun. I love doing this. I love it. I feel like I get so much out of it. I think the audience does as well. Greg, let's talk more about the survey results. And we always talk about in the retirement industry, one size never fits all. You know, I wear a medium shirt, someone else who may wear a larger shirt, right? And so from the survey results, did you glean that plan sponsors, employers are looking for other alternatives, more than one alternative to add to their program?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think what Bill said earlier is really important, is that, you know, every organization's coming at this from a different angle. And I think the underpinning philosophies of the organization really determine in many ways how they're approaching this issue. But some of our plan sponsors in the interviews said that eventually they think it makes sense to have more than one retirement income option for retirees. And that's really because employees have varying needs more than anything. In our survey, when we asked plan sponsors whether an annuity-based solution or an investment-based retirement income solution made the most sense, they both scored well, but they were statistically dead even with plan sponsors. But 93% were favorable on a combination of both, which is interesting. And so, and I'm not suggesting that plan sponsors need to go out and adopt two retirement income products right out of the gates. this is something that you would stage into over time. Maybe step one, as Bill talked about earlier, is just educating around the partial and systematic withdrawal options that participants have now, and then maybe later on you add another option. And I think that the products are evolving too and becoming more flexible. Whereas early on, some of the retirement income products that were out there, it sort of felt like this all-in, all or nothing semi-permanent decision that a plan sponsor was making. And I think now it's because of the flexibility with these products, it can be, just like any other part of the plan where it can be changed and replaced or evolve over time.
Bill, your firm, one of the responsibilities for your firm, you have a whole team that does a lot of research and due diligence, and I have to think a lot of work is being done on these types of products. How do you perform research on products that really can be different from one another, even if they're both insurance products or they're investment products?
Yeah, we have to spend a lot of time really understanding the underpinning of the product design and what the goal is of that product. Is it a deferred income source? Is it an immediate income source? And what's the underpinning of the investments? Does it have the actual asset allocation to support the yield that it's supposed to provide participants? If it has any kind of guarantee, what's the pool that's supporting the risk? What's the credit quality of the employer? There's insurance products in probably 70% of corporate plans today. If you think about stable value, those have wrap providers, those have insurance. So there is some level of due diligence right now with insurance products today in plans that maybe has gotten forgotten about or realized that we just take for granted at this point.
And Bill, how do you take our business? The retirement and financial services industry has a lot of jargon. I don't know if you're aware of that. I mean, both of you are CFAs, but things like beta and risk and wrap. How do you explain what are arguably complicated concepts to a committee? And by the way, the committee is not like they're not intelligent, but they're very smart in what they do. But how do you take these difficult concepts and explain it?
Yeah, absolutely. Greg mentioned it earlier. His terms are slightly different than mine. The way that I try to explain it is being self-insured versus pooled insured. When you're thinking about retirement income, you're either going to be in an investment-only product where the individual has to self-insure that they've saved enough, they can support their own needs for retirement income distributions, or they need to hedge it. And in that, they're going to be in a pooled product with group risk and be able to collect income and defer that across the longevity of multiple lives. So what we try to do is simplify the conversation to those two concepts. Do you want to provide self-insured retirement income for your participants, or do you want pooled insured? And then once we can define that, we can then bucket or categorize the different products available, and then systematically find out what should be provided to participants. To Greg's earlier point, it may not be providing one solution like we have historically, but maybe it's two or three. We came a long way on the core lineup where we went from 3 investment options to 20 and now back to probably 10. I think we've learned from that experience. We probably can get comfortable getting to 3 or 4 retirement income solutions, maybe not get to 20 and to do that again.
Yeah, you're right. We went from this down to this, or this down to this, back down to this. Greg, the last time we chatted, you talked about the survey results and the importance of participant education. I think you kind of alluded to this previously. Are employers interested in educating their employees about retirement income?
Well, I think they are, and I think people realize that education is going to be really critical when it comes to retirement income. In our plan sponsor survey, 79% said they had provided information to participants about how to turn their DC balance into a stream of income, but only 38% of participants remembered receiving anything. So I think there's a couple factors at play here. Number one, this is relatively new information. It just takes time for these ideas to sink in. It takes multiple channels. It's just like, not unlike any other, marketing problem when it comes to, participants. And also, to our surprise, younger participants were a lot more interested in retirement income than we thought they would be. So people in their 30s and 40s were asking lots of questions. they were clearly very interested in the focus groups. We could really see this. They were very interested in what these options would be. And I think there's a real opportunity with these younger participants. The older participants that we surveyed in focus group, they're a little more set in their ideas. They have some more built-in biases about some of these things. You could really sense with the younger participants that there was a hunger for information and really, for the most part, open minds about how to do this right. And they were very interested in the tools and any other information to help them do that.
Last question, I want to pose it to Greg first, and then I'll finish it up with you, Bill. And that's, Greg, from your perspective, are employers, are their providers, record keepers is what I'm talking about here, are they doing enough, are they committing enough resources to explain these concepts? Because we're talking, more broadly, we talk about financial literacy all the time. So are enough resources being committed to that education that you just talked about?
Well, I think record keepers have come a long way on helping plan sponsors with education, but I still think there's a long way to go. Some of these basic tenets and ideas about retirement income that are fairly obvious to those of us in the industry, like the fact that you need to pay extra if you want a lifetime guarantee. You need to pay. There's an additional cost for an inflation adjustment to be built into these products. So things like that are fairly obvious to us. It was clear in our focus groups that this is not at all clear to the average person. And a lot of them are thinking about themselves and their own situation, which is totally natural. They're not thinking about actuarial tables and averages and participants overall. So there's a lot of work to do. And I think that all of us in the industry need to evolve when it comes to educating around retirement income.
And Bill, I want to get your thoughts on this, because you're sitting in that table around the room with, sitting at the table with others around the room, the committee members. I know there's an interest, but is there enough commitment in terms of the resource to do that education, to get people on the right path towards sustainable income?
I'm not sure it's 100% there. As I mentioned a few times, it really comes down to the employer's commitment and what they're providing. In the public sector or the university sector who has a defined benefit plan, they're attached to that participant for their full journey. Corporate America has gotten away from the defined benefit space. So there's a different relationship that's being formed really with that employee. So it really comes down to what the employer is trying to accomplish. And one of the things I thought from a measurement standpoint, just hearing Greg's last comments, is it's one thing that the record keepers have the ability to do systematic distribution. I think the committees, if they want to manage it, they have to measure it. And so what percentage of participants are taking a distribution prior to the RMD? So between ages 60 and 70, how many are staying in and starting to take a systematic distribution? Do they want to move the needle on that? Is that really where they want to influence it? I think that would probably be the first step in measuring it and deploying it.
Yeah, well, it's certainly really important. And, look, it's an aging society, from what I understand. We're getting more people on the planet, but we're also getting older. These are important topics. Gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there. Greg Jenkins, Bill Ryan, great to talk to you both. As always, thanks so much for sharing your perspective, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
And that wraps up this episode of BRNAM. Have a topic of interest, somebody you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more, and all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content? Well, visit our website and, of course, all of our 300 streaming partners. We're back again tomorrow for another edition of BRNAM. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.